Actually, this will be pretty amazing. Every year, handcrafted.
You deserve this.
Couple of sit-ups. Save that for being a real tragic injury. Ready for this? Whoa. Not much. That's not true. Quite a bunch of work here. Four weeks ago, none of this was up. It certainly is now. We'll call it an 8-foot by 16-foot lanai coming off of our master bedroom. I've had these French doors in here since, I'm going to call it 2003. Might have been before that. They've been here forever. There was a window of that size there. And we yanked that out of there. It was some of the crappiest windows ever. So, that's gone. Anderson French doors went in. They're terrific. Probably just now they need a little bit of, at least, refinish on the inside. But, you know, we're talking 17 years. So anyways, the deck is, alright, so how's that? Features like a bay window type style here. So basically this corner is actually that, point right to it. That's 8 foot from the house. And of course we have that, bringing it out a little further. And then this is about 10 foot out. So, you know, I did it mostly because once the railing goes on there, it's going to give a little bit of a look, architectural type look to the house. I mean, otherwise everything's square, freaking boring. So, we got 4 piers. They are either, no, they're all sitting on shale. It's not going any place. Construction-wise, it's just 2x8, 16 on center. These are 4x4s. And the double 2x8 on there. There's not really a lot of load that's going to go on this deck. But I've pretty much used up every type of metal bracket I can think of to assemble this thing. Got your joist hangers, plus they're screwed in there. I think those, whoa, lose balance. I think those are hurricane braces. So basically if the wind gets underneath this, it's not going to lift it off. If the wind gets under this and lifts it off, I think there's bigger problems. But, and then this certainly could carry the load, but we definitely had a lot of wiggle, sway, in the fact that, you know, we have these 4x4s. They're anchored here on top of the piers. They're anchored here under that beam. So, and the beam's just double 2x8s. So, that's where you see this X bracing that I have on the outside. Not the most elegant look, but it is balanced. They're all pretty much the same cut and size. You know, and I feel it's pretty good to only be off by 1/8 of an inch. You know, especially between piers that are not, you know, pretty tough to get those in and centered in exactly the right spot. So, and then I use these other corner brackets basically just to ensure that nothing's going to shear. And that's my main worry is the construction screws that I used. They're not the best for a shear type load. They like to snap. They're almost brittle that way. So these are all in. For the most part, I've used actual joist hanger nails, and especially when they're into the beam, like these are right here. You know, they're full, you know, 10 penny nails. So at least those, they won't break. They'll have to bend. But this pretty much stiffened it up that I can't even get it to vibrate. I smacked it with a hammer even, and it's solid. So that's not going anyplace. And then we have these brackets here. Again, they are in just right now by the screws. I may actually put an anchor through that. But that's basically just to make sure that we don't get anything that actually draws this away from the house. So, you know, you've seen the stories of the wedding group standing on one of these decks and it pulls away from the house. That's my fear, is that for some reason this gets some sort of movement and it folds that. So that's what those braces are meant to do. There's just the pair of them. So pretty much, I can't see this moving almost ever. We do have a pretty good overhang here. The beam is out about 7 foot 6 inches, so we are ending up with a good 30-inch overhang. So, now, what you might be asking is, well, what is this crap here? So, best way is I'm just going to reach up and show you guys. Well, actually, I'll pull back. You know, look underneath. So, we'll call it 4.5 feet storage space. We'll have to clear some of that ground out, level it out, but that's storage space. So why not make it dry storage space? And the way that I'm doing that is with a deck gutter system. So basically this is just a real thick polymer that you nail down to the top of the joist. Boy, I can't see what you see, so hang on a second. There we go. How's that? Better? Yeah, I figured you'd like that. So anyways, the trough is to collect, of course, the rainwater, and then that brings it down towards your outer rim. And then the outer rim here, this is pushed down, that's the lowest point. And what you do is you cut in a gutter, like downspout adapter, I'm going to call it. And then you run that. Let's look up under here. There we go. So you run your gutter along this beam, and then that's going to come down through there. So I put on these first 3 pieces here, and this is more of like learning how to do this well. And I've noticed that these pull. So they are definitely wanting to have the decking put over them because there is quite a drastic change when the sun hits that and then it cools back down. However, what I have seen is been able to pour water into these, and it does trickle down to the bottom. Obviously, a torrent will definitely go rushing down towards the bottom and hopefully drain out. Water always tries to seek its own level, so we're going to count on that. Whatever it is, you know, just to say, these are, you see, these here, they're 16 inches wide. Of course, they overlap on top of the joist, and then we have the gray Spyker deck seal to put on top of that. And I'll also have, now this is not the way you should do it. All right, this is not recommended. I will admit that up front. I am doing this because we have an overhang, and I have the benefit of being able to run like a flexible flashing along the top edge of this. Either way, the ledger board is pretty well sealed off already. This will, and there's flashing behind that. There's going to be flashing over it, and then we're also going to have the deck board over it, and I'll caulk along the edge. So, very low chance of getting moisture behind it. It's not ideal, but however, if I kept trying to shove that in there and try to bend it up, it was actually going to invite more of a chance of water getting behind there. And I would rather be able to say that I've done everything else to control it and didn't invite a way for it to capture it. So, obviously, we got to put that stuff on there before any decking goes on. That's the story. So, hopefully that makes sense. Here's our pile of decking. Yeehaw, off we go. Eric. smash that like button.